everyone. Today we are with Kattell Maguet. So she's going to explain us a little bit about her. Hi, Kattell.
Hi, Carmen. I'm Kattell. I'm French, living in the Netherlands for already now 9 years. And I've been diagnosed with colorectal cancer stage 3 4 years ago. And I received my the diagnosis and my treatment in the Netherlands.
Only first, who is Kattell? What is your favorite food? And what are you passionate about right now?
So I'm French, so I love food. During my studies, I spent several months in Vietnam, and I fell in love with the cuisine there, the street food, everything. It's difficult to find the same one here, but I really like Asian food and French food, of course. And my passions, I've got several ones. I'm an outdoor fan. I love traveling, hiking, cycling, skydiving. I'm currently registered for ice skating challenge to raise funds and awareness for colorectal cancer in the Netherlands. I've been 4 times on ice so far, but it's great. So that's the kind of thing I like, and I'm also passionate about patient advocacy, of course. And what I really like is bridging the gap between researchers and the patient community. That's really what I like to do, and really improving the patient care and the communication.
Yeah, I have seen that, your training. Oh my God. When is it? When are you doing it?
So yeah, it was challenging first, but the thing is, ice skating for me is really linked to my cancer diagnosis, because when I moved to the Netherlands, I was sure that I would go ice skating every weekend, that the canals would be frozen. And then when I moved here, I realized that no, it's not cold enough anymore. So there's no natural ice. So it happens every 3 or 4 years. So I was waiting. And the first day I could skate after almost 4 years being in the Netherlands was the day I received my diagnosis. And we had the meeting at the hospital in the morning, and I knew that we could go skating in the afternoon. I told my partner, we're going to go skating. And he was like, are you sure? You've never been on natural ice? I was like, yes, I'm sure. And that was on a Friday, and we went skating on a full weekend, and that was so beautiful. And I think that's really why ice skating is for me also a way to prove that I'm not only a cancer patient, I can do something else. And I love being outdoor, and I love trying new things. So ice skating is my new thing.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That is beautiful, because sometimes you have something that is special or representative on your life, and that is ice skating for you. And now
Yes.
you're going to do it. You're going to do, I don't know how many miles.
So, I've registered for the 10 kilometers. I did 16, I think 3 weeks ago during the first training. So yes, 10 kilometers is not too, should be easy. Yeah, and it is for Blue March, the month for colorectal cancer awareness. So that's also why we do it that way.
Yeah, actually, not too many people knows that. Like when you were mentioning it, I didn't know that was Blue March. I didn't know that. How was to have cancer in the Netherlands coming from France, like as a migrant?
So I was diagnosed quite late. My diagnosis was really delayed because my general practitioner didn't take me seriously because I was young. I didn't have any risk factor. So when I arrived at the hospital, when I got the diagnosis, it was also during COVID time. And I was like, if the medical team at the hospital is as bad as my general practitioner, I want to go back to France. I don't want to stay. And then the meeting, my main contact was a surgeon, because it was supposed to be surgery first. And I had such a first good meeting with the team. He took his time, had a nurse explaining me for 1 hour after what was going on and everything. And then I was like, okay, it's going to work. I want to stay here. The treatments were similar. And I live 5 minutes from the hospital, so it's super convenient. So that was really from the positive part. I really felt a lot of empathy from the team, and had 7 surgeries, so I know them quite well. The downside part was really the communication. It was not always easy because, of course, they speak Dutch. Most of them speak English, but especially nurses don't always speak English. So I had really some challenging times. And that's where I felt like a migrant when my partner was not with me, or when we could not translate, when he was in the middle of the night and when I was in hospital. So that was a difficult part. And the second part for me, which was extremely difficult, was the pain management. I think in France, we are used to receive a lot of painkillers and very quickly some strong painkillers. And I came home from my surgeries. They were like, no, just go to the supermarket and buy paracetamol. I was like, wow. I think the first surgery was a 8-hour surgery. So I was allowed to have some stronger painkiller for 1 week at home. But then it was like, no, paracetamol only. So that's the difficult part for me. It's so different. But I think globally, I found it a very positive experience. I don't know if that would be the term. The part missing, but I think it's everywhere, it's with the psychological support, which was really missing. I really had to ask for it, and it took so long. Like I was for 1 year on a waiting list. I think it's everywhere the same, but that was some of the challenges.
The next one is, do you know many cancer survivors, and how can you describe them in one word?
So at the beginning, I think really the first 6 months of my journey, I didn't know anyone. I was really, I kept everything for myself, and I didn't know where to find any of them. And then suddenly I started being much more open on social media, and I joined several patient organizations, and that's where I really started to connect with many of them, and not only in the Netherlands, in France, but everywhere. And it's also thanks to you that I connected also with patients in Africa. That was last year. That was beautiful, and I really hope to keep that part. And yeah, for me, I would say 2 words: it's a community, and it's a connection.
Did you have any side effects that actually you liked? Like, I don't know, about the treatments or about having cancer that actually you thought like, oh, this is not that bad, or this is not mentioned on the movies or on the books or things like that?
Not really, but for me, I don't know if it's a superpower, but I had several surgeries and several parts removed, and I miss a few parts of few organs, and my body is still functioning, and I find it unbelievable. And for me, that's my superpower now. It's you don't realize that the body can function and adjust even after so many surgeries and parts missing. So it's kind of my hidden superpower. And I think the second superpower, it's not from the treatment, but I think it gives me a voice. I'm more like an introvert person, and I'm not used to share anything on social media. But when I started sharing my story online, and I do it mostly on LinkedIn, which is a professional network, it gave me such a superpower. I don't know how to explain, but sharing my story helped me, but helped also so many other people, and it gave me so many opportunities.
What is the weirdest thing or funniest thing somebody have told you about having cancer?
I think there were so many moments where we had to laugh also with my partner, because if you don't, it's depressing. But one moment 1 year ago, I was in hospital just before Christmas, and I had to stay for 3 weeks because I had some complications. And at some point, my partner entered the room, and he started laughing at me, and he called me Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, because my allergy started with my nose. So my nose was red and glowing, and then it started everywhere. So I was like, and we were laughing at it, but then we had to stop laughing because the medical team was not so amused about it because I had several really life-threatening allergies. So they were more in a panic mode, but it kept coming back, and we didn't know why. But so I got that nickname Rudolph.
Almost last question is, as a cancer advocate, what changes would you like to see in your country or in the Netherlands regarding cancer survivors or cancer patients?
So I think at the moment, the screening age in the Netherlands for colorectal cancer is 55. So there are several discussions to have it done at 50, which is already the case in France and other countries in Europe. It's already at 45 in the US. I think that's really that's one of my fights. I was diagnosed at 40, so that's really we need to do so much better and understand also the needs of young patients because the treatments are really not designed for us. It's really damaging the body. And when you are 30 or 40, it's not the same as if you would be 70, which is the average age of colorectal cancer. But we see such a rise in young patients in a number of cases, so we need to do something. And the other thing would be also more psychological support, especially for young patients. I think there is such a need, and it can be done at a country level, or it can be done also online. I think that's also the power of today, where everything can be done online, and we can build communities to really support each other.
And the last one, which word describe you that doesn't have anything to do with cancer? Like you were like this before having cancer, and you are still like this after.
I'm an explorer. Yes. I really like adventure, new things, sports, travel. I think, and it hasn't changed. And I think during my treatments at some point, I had to stay at home for such a long time. And I was really missing it so much because it's such a part of me. And now it's finally back, and it's great.
So thank you, Kattell, for the interview. It was really nice to know your story.
Yes, thank you, Carmen, for having me. It was really a pleasure.